Greetings and salutations, all you Bible lovers and passerbys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Project Truth Ministries, and I am Brian Scott Williams. I have a wonderful treat for you. While I was in Saudi Arabia visiting the ancient land of Midian, we were at the bottom of the split rock at Rephidim when I happened to record a wonderful teaching by my friend Rhonda of Living Passages Tours. This was a powerful teaching regarding the genealogical connections that I certainly have never thought of before regarding Moses and Jethro. I really benefited from hearing this teaching, and I know you will too. Check it out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I just want to bring up a couple things. I'm going to read a little bit out of the Word and then just focus in on some of the things that is really important for us to be aware of. Maybe I'll do those first. The first thing of significance to understand is that we are going to be in Midian, okay? Midian was the son of Abraham and Keturah. Does everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Midian was the son of Abraham and Keturah. So that means Abraham was here.
Wow.
Okay? That is in Genesis 25, 1 through 9 is that chapter. Okay? The other thing is that Moses fled to Midian. He knew to flee to Midian. It wasn't a chance. He knew to flee here. So Midian was Jacob's uncle.
Right.
Okay? And Midian was a half brother of Isaac.
Yeah.
Weird. Moses was 4 generations down from Levi. See how small this world is right here? Who is the son of Jacob, okay? Midian was the great uncle of Levi.
And they all knew it.
Yes.
Yeah, this was not everybody knew of it.
Yeah. So Jethro was the high priest of Midian. We take that for granted. We know that. But when you look at everything else I just said, but yet Jethro was the high priest of Midian. So Moses was a distant cousin to Jethro. That was his cousin. Jethro was his cousin, the high priest of Midian. See, this wasn't a chance situation here.
God wanted to keep it in the family.
The other unique thing, that this is way off, but this was just in my notes about something else, is that the Islamic tradition is that Abraham built the Kaaba.
Really?
That is, yeah, that is
that's the
Islamic tradition.
But it's not necessarily so. It's just that's what they think.
Well, we've already learned so far about oral tradition on this trip, correct?
I don't know.
Okay, so it doesn't mean just our oral tradition. I mean, I don't know, okay?
Okay, this is okay.
So Islamic tradition is that Abraham and Ishmael, that son,
Got it.
built the Kaaba.
Got it.
And then in, let's see here, Exodus 18, it says, "And Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people." Again, Moses is Jethro's cousin. Okay? So no wonder Jethro had heard this. That the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back with her 2 sons, of whom the name of one was Gershom. Okay, so what this is saying is that Jethro then, once Moses had come, fled Egypt with the Israelites, came here, now Jethro took his daughter, Zipporah, who was married to Moses, and their children, and came right here and met Moses and brought him his wife and children.
It's really big, you know. Most grandparents would steal them for sure.
Isn't that cool, though? Right here. And I wanted to point that out to you. And then also, so when Jethro got here, it says then in verse 12, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and other sacrifices to offer to God. Well, the sacrifices weren't being done yet. But
Yeah, they were.
Jethro,
They did sacrifices
Noah.
from the time of Noah.
No, I
but
don't.
here with Jethro and Moses, right? Jethro brought this sacrifice.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Okay? So Jethro, the father-in-law, took a burnt offering and other sacrifices to offer to God. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. Okay?
He's in the family. Oh, God.
And then without jumping around too much, because a lot of us here, who here has been to Israel? Okay? So who here has had a Drew's lunch? Okay, if you have had a Drew's lunch, okay, this is so profound.
What's a
I could go a bit more in scripture, won't right now, time permitting, but to understand that Jethro was a Kenite. Okay? Jethro, in the scripture, I could read it, it says that when Moses departed, you know, Jethro basically went with them a certain distance and then went elsewhere. Where Jethro went is in the Galilee.
Wow.
So the Druze people are the people of Jethro. So that's why the Druze people are given this land and given these freedoms. Have you ever wondered why the Druze have these specific freedoms in Israel that everybody else doesn't have? It's because they're honoring Jethro. The other interesting thing is the Druze are circumcised.
Of course they are. They know the law.
In the story of Deborah, okay, in Judges, as you recall, that battle that took place, it was a Kenite woman who actually put to death by Yael. She was a Kenite. She was from Jethro's lineage. Isn't that great?
Oh, wow.
Gotta have the hero in the right line.
Yeah, so there is some rich things.
Awesome. You made it to the end of the video. What did you think? Give it a like, give it a comment, share it out. And as always, God bless.